ons sportuitsigte vir die week of vir die naweek saam met David Brook. Môre, if you had a butler, what would he do for you, David? I know it's got nothing to do with sport, but I thought I'll throw that one in.
Well, coffee and sport go together normally, so I'd make him bring me coffee as soon as my eyes open. If they see a flicker in my eyes, the coffee's there waiting for me.
Nou, hierdie naweek was 'n groot sportnaweek, and you tweeted me on Saturday to say that if my Bulls win today, you're a big Stormer supporter. Let me just tell you, he was sitting next to me at the match crying. You would wear something blue Bulls.
Yes.
And if the Stormers won, I would wear something.
Yes.
Of course, thank you, Bulls. This is what I got you. Little bull horns to wear, and I'm going to put that on your head because you said you'd do that through the show.
Okay. I've also got a reply, though.
You're giving me the finger.
I'm giving you the finger. Billy Bowden.
Yeah, you just have to fix those horns a bit. So I got a finger, but now give us an update on the match. We went together to watch the Stormers-Bulls game, but there were some other interesting things that happened as well.
Geez, I'll tell you something. Talking about butlers, you know, the Bulls delivered a hell of a performance on Saturday.
Are you cheating? Even if it's skew, you have to put it on, because that was the whole point of the tweet.
It's messing my hair up, though. Okay, so, you know, Lions Sharks. That was a crucial game because it was a strange weekend. There was 2 draws in the Super Rugby this weekend. The Lions were up 39 against the Sharks. Sharks came back, 30-all, the final score. Pat Lambie, another good performance in the fly-off position. So that now means that they play the Sharks play the Bulls next week.
Yes.
The Bulls obviously, that becomes a knockout game now. Effectively, unless the Waratahs beat the Brumbies next week. If the Bulls beat the Sharks, they go through. Okay, and if the Sharks beat the Bulls, they go through. If the Waratahs lose to the Brumbies, the Bulls and the Sharks go through. So there's going to be a lot of people supporting the Brumbies next weekend. But yeah, I mean, at Newlands, it was a cracking game. It was a sellout. There was Bulls supporters that came down from Pretoria just for the game. It was fantastic atmosphere. We were there. It was just brilliant. There was a good vibe there. Not the best of matches. You know, when Australian sides play each other in these derby games, they play a good game of running rugby, but unfortunately, you know, when the South Africans play each other, it's war out there. And I said there was going to be a bit of blood last week, and there definitely was. There was some hard hits going in, and it was a very tight game. Francois Hougaard scored the one try for the Bulls, which really opened the game up. And Andries Becker scored a crucial try in the last few minutes for the Stormers.
Like a minute and a half to go.
Exactly. You know, they didn't win the game, but they crucially got a bonus point for losing by less than 7, which means that they've effectively wrapped up the South African title, which means that on the overall log, the lowest they can finish is 3rd, which is a great scenario for them, but they want to go to the Cheetahs next weekend and win so they can finish in a semi-final spot, a home semi-final, and that's what they want.
And what happened with the PSL relegation this weekend?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Vasco da Gama, unfortunately for them, they only had 1 season in the PSL. They've been relegated. They lost to Black Leopards. Black Leopards now play Bay United in a crucial match where the winner of that goes up to the PSL, and there's a lot of money involved. You know, we now know with the TV rights and everything, the PSL is now huge on national television, which is great.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money, and that they're playing this week. There's 2 legs, so that by Saturday we'll know who's in the Premiership next season.
And then a lot of excitement around Cricket South Africa and the announcement of the new coach.
Yeah. They've been, you know, obviously it's still a couple of months of the cricket, but there's been some good vibes in South African cricket. And Gary Kirsten has obviously got his team together of Alan Donald and Russell Domingo. But he's also said now in the press that he's looking to bring in other consultants. And consultants like John T. Rhodes, who is undoubtedly South Africa's best fielder of all time, and Paddy Upton, who was with him in India, and in the Indian team. And you know what? I like Gary Kirsten because he's not scared to get advice from the experts. You know, he's not this coach who says, I know everything about everything. You know, he's a batsman at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, bringing in the top guys for the top, hopefully the top team, is great news for us.
And then Formula 1 yesterday?
Yeah, it was a crazy race. There was a lot of rain happening last night, and you know the race lasted about 4 hours instead of the usual couple of hours. So, you know, Sebastian Vettel was leading in the final lap, and he made a mistake. Jenson Button took advantage and went over the checkered flag. So it's quite amazing, the race in Canada. They now moved to Spain now for the European Grand Prix.
And what other sporting things can we look forward to this week?
Well, the US Open golf happens this week, so there's no Tiger. So it's anyone's tournament, really. Lee Westwood has obviously got to be the favourite. But I'm going to tip Steve Stricker, American Steve Stricker, to win the tournament. So let's see what happens. And obviously the build-up to Wimbledon, which starts next Monday.
Well, Dave, always great chatting to you, and thank
Always
you.
good.
High five for
High
being
five.
a man
Do I have
and
to wear these
honouring.
throughout the whole day?
Yes, you do. To
Okay.
the office, and I'm going to
gonna
make
get a lot
sure
of
that
stick
all
from
the guys
Tank.
from Sport 24
Yeah.
send me photos.
Okay.
But thank you for honouring your bet
Only a
and
pleasure.
wearing the Bulls item, and I hope you've learnt your lesson.
I have.
Never bet against the Bulls.
That's true. That's true.
Now, one final question. Do you know anything about the sport of bodybuilding?
I've been building my body for the last 30 years, but I don't know how well, but I'm sure your experts will know a lot better than I do.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out next with Ewan.